Big conversation across the Atlantic.
Given the resources of the area, there was a lot that could be done in a deliberate and determined manner to improve the lives of the Niger Delta people.
Better future for social inclusion and prosperity for the Niger Delta.
Greatest assault to our collective human rights are those people who have stolen our money.
Chief Information Disseminator tunes in on World Radio Day. Plus, a coalition for correct budgeting. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover. President Muhammadu Buhari earlier in the day had a telephone conversation with President Donald Trump of the United States. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Media and Publicity, Femi Adesina, says the telephone conversation from London was at the request of the American President. The statement adds that the conversation was cordial, with the two leaders discussing ways to improve cooperation in the fight against terrorism through provision of necessary equipment. It adds that President Trump encouraged President Buhari to keep up the good work and efforts made in rescuing 24 of the abducted Chibok schoolgirls, promising U.S. readiness to cut a new deal in helping Nigeria in terms of military gadgets to combat terrorism. President Trump also invited President Buhari to Washington at a convenient date. Well, to talk about this conversation between President Trump and President Buhari, I have with me in the studio a public policy analyst, Dr. Udenta Udenta. Thanks for joining us.
Yes, it's always a pleasure to be with you here.
Right. We just heard President Buhari had a telephone conversation with President Trump. And what's the import of this for Nigeria? President Trump has been speaking with key world leaders since his inauguration.
This is actually one of the most important post-inauguration rituals you find American presidents performing. One of the uniqueness of what they call American exceptionalism is that American inaugurations are devoid of foreign presence. You have former presidents, like you saw Carter, you saw Clinton, you saw Obama, you saw Bush the younger, then congressional leaders, and then the complement of the Supreme Court justices and the American people. That is the grand setting, the solemn occasion they inaugurate their president. Not a single world leader. Because if you have world leaders who spend a day or two or three, the new president will have opportunity to converse with them, to discuss with them either singly or in batches. But because that is not part of their culture, what the new president does is to devote now the forthcoming days and weeks in engaging world leaders on the whole range of issues, depending on the continent or the country concerned. What importance of this is, get to know. He's a new president, doesn't know many world leaders. He hasn't met our president before. Obama has made the president. He wants to introduce himself to him and say, I'm Donald Trump, I'm the new American president. And then I need to work with you and African leaders in shaping a new American, US-African relations. Secondly, the American president will know a little bit of the challenges facing the country he's speaking with the president. For example, he mentioned Boko Haram, which one of the challenges facing the Nigerian state. The government have been tackling that stoutly and with lion heart. So it needs to strengthen that relationship between Nigeria and the US in terms of equipment, in terms of sharing information, in terms of building capacity of the Nigerian armed forces. And secondly, again, such conversations are occasions when the president extends invitation to world leaders to come and visit him in Washington. And then in turn will send invitation for him to visit them in their respective countries. That's why we saw that he has invited our president to come to the US at any time mutually agreeable to the two countries.
Now, how encouraging is this towards building of alliances?
It's very important because 2016 was actually the year that shaped global relations in such a strategic manner. Most people even think of the last year as impending, established global norms and global standards. The Brexit in Britain, Trump election, and the rise of populism across Europe. So Trump is a new kind of president and a unique kind of president too. So it is important for him to reach out and engage global leaders who are used to doing business in the old ways, in a more conventional, traditional ways, he's an untraditional, unconventional president. But for me, it is a good start in the sense that he has spoken with the president. They've reached some certain, agreement in terms of fellow feeling. There's a way you build solidarity with even Trump says it. I converse with a president or a foreign leader, I begin to build understanding. I begin to like him. So let us presume that Trump and Buhari are already on the same page in terms of liking one another, which is very important in strengthening bilateral relations between the two countries.
Dr. Denta, I just got to put this to you because now we talk about building alliances. Just before the election in the US, there were all kinds of stories about who Donald Trump, the candidate then, would turn out to be, even as President Trump. And quite a number of Nigerians had this feeling that a Donald Trump presidency was going to totally, completely ignore Nigeria. That hasn't happened.
It's not likely going to happen because today's call was actually being like Africa Day's call. He's not going to speak with the 50 or 52 African leaders or 53 African leaders. He's select across the regions. Nigeria is a dominant player in Africa, the strongest economy in spite of our challenges. After that, he spoke with Zuma of South Africa. So there's no president of the US that will not engage key African leaders in forming not just bilateral relations, but strengthening and consolidating long-standing multilateral relationships. The UN is very key. Trump talked about unpending the UN, of casting it aside. No. He's got a very powerful lady, Nikki Haley, as the new UN ambassador. She's going to continue the work of the previous ambassadors there. Nigeria has our own permanent representative. So Trump has to understand that to run an election under certain platforms will be slightly different from governing a country under a new set of contexts. So what he's seeing now is reality weighing down on his own presidency. And that reality is that you must engage Africa, and in engaging Africa, you must engage Nigeria in terms of strategic partnership, economic partnership, and then the growth and sustenance of our democracy.
All right, we'll have to leave it here. Dr. Denta, thanks for coming on.
It's a pleasure, as always, to be with you. Thank you.
In other news, the federal government has reiterated determination for a new vision to restore growth and improve the narrative of the Niger Delta region. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo gave the assurance at an outreach meeting with the Niger Delta in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Tessie Justin Bisong has details. We'll bring you details of that story in just a moment. The role of leadership in determining the trajectory of a nation, especially in times of crisis, is critical if the people are to emerge stronger and united. Acting President Yemi Osinbajo stated this at a memorial lecture to mark the 41st anniversary of the death of General Murtala Ramat Mohammed. Ahmed Ambali reports.
General Murtala Mohammed's Africa has come of age speech has been at the epicenter of the Boko Haram insurgency, pointed out the necessity for leaders to step up to the plate in the face of daunting challenges.
We must, as Nigerians, try to suppress our biases by working hard to get paths on all issues. Otherwise, we'll continue to fall victims of conspiracy theories.
There is still a lot that we can do, and a lot that we must do, and a lot that we will continue to do.
The overall feeling as the event wrapped up is that the dream of Murtala Mohammed continues to dwell with the nation. In Abuja, Ahmed Ambali, NTA News.
Senate President Bukola Saraki says if the 2017 budget is well implemented, it will remain the most potent fiscal policy instrument of government in delivering socio-economic benefits in an all-inclusive manner. The Senate President stated this at the public hearing on the 2017 budget estimates. He said to achieve this, all concerned must be involved in the decision-making process, which will increase the efficiency of government and its responsibility to the citizens' needs and improve the overall transparency and accountability in government.
The issues challenging the economy are well known to us, from low government revenues, shortage in the foreign exchange supply, slowdown in economic activities, rising to unemployment, and a high cost of living. This forum will allow us to collate views and make necessary amendments or positions to assist us in our deliberation. This will also provide an opportunity for us to have a think tank on research on different opinions in different sectors.
Speaker Yakubu Dogara said the public hearing is in fulfillment of the responsibilities the House set for itself in the legislative agenda adopted in the 8th Assembly. The National Assembly is advocating locally developed computer software that will promote efficiency in human resource development and prudent management of funds in the civil service. This came to the fore when the head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Winifred Oyoita, was at a budget defense session in the Senate. National Assembly correspondent Kenneth Nanim reports.
The committee reviewed the 2016 budget performance of the office, of which its capital cost stood at 779.63 million naira, with less than 40% release. Committee members demanded explanations on some of the items in the 2017 budget estimates, including allocations for international travels, training, and purchase of computer wares, as well as implementation of the efficiency strategies.
Well, so this software you're talking, it's not a big time. It's an idea.
Head of Service Oyoita explained plans to improve human capacity building and total restructuring of activities.
We have developed 4 goals to do with the development of the capacity enterprise content management to move the service from being a cost center to being a revenue generating center.
Appraising performance of other agencies, the committee stressed the need to avoid duplication of projects and completion of ongoing ones to achieve the desired goals. From the National Assembly, Kenneth Nanim, NTA News.
Now let's return to our earlier story. Just after we talked about the conversation the President had with the US President, and we came back here where we said the acting President has reiterated government's determination for a new vision to restore growth and improve the narrative of the Niger Delta region. Professor Yemi Osinbajo gave the assurance at an outreach meeting with the Niger Delta in Port Harcourt. Let's get the story now from Tessie Justin Bison.
A healthy environment in the Niger Delta is a gateway collaboration for economic growth and opening opportunities for investment to thrive. On this foundation, Acting President Osinbajo expressed federal government's determination to restore a healthy living condition and create empowerment program for youth.
People can only work and businesses thrive in an environment of peace. This is why the federal government is committed to continue the implementation of the amnesty program.
Governor Nyesom Wike highlighted some efforts at restoring sanity to the state with an urgent need for the expansion of the East-West Road to boost the needed development.
For us, the process of achieving peace, progress and prosperity in River State would be easier if all stakeholders, irrespective of political leanings, agree to work together towards actualizing the development options open to us with all sense of responsibility.
Representatives of host communities also contributed.
We urge that serious and urgent consideration should be given to the establishment of a concrete Niger Delta energy corridor.
Government should take steps to solve the problem as highlighted in the 16-point presentation by...
The outreach is part of federal government's continuous efforts in fostering growth and development. Tessie Justin Bisong, NTA News.
The federal government says it will continue to uphold and protect the rights of all citizens within the ambit of the law. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed stated this while inaugurating a radio and television station in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
101.1 FM station is a 100% human rights station dedicated to promote human rights issues in Nigeria and for those in the diaspora. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed was emphatic about the present administration's commitment in protecting the rights of the citizens whom he said have been denied their rights by those who should protect them.
The greatest assault to our collective human rights are those people who have stolen our money. Those are the people who have assaulted our collective human rights. Those are the people who have reduced the average Nigerians to nothingness.
With this, the minister again used the opportunity to appeal to Nigerians to embrace the federal government's whistleblowing policy, saying the policy has helped recover huge sums of looted money.
Please anonymously contact us. We'll protect his identity, and if that information leads really to the recovery of money, he will be entitled to between 2.5 and 5% of the money recovered.
Managing Director of the station, Ahmed Issa, said the idea behind setting up of the television and radio station with 100% human rights content is a long-time dream come true.
We are going to use this platform to support humanity, irrespective of religious, ethnic, tribal, or whatever difference that is there on ground.
Goodwill messages poured in from the military, paramilitary, civil society, professional bodies, and philanthropists. In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Former President Goodluck Jonathan has expressed his support for the People's Democratic Party to go back to the direct system of conducting primaries with some modifications to ensure proper management of the members. He stated this when some members of the party's Strategic Review and Inter-Party Affairs Committee visited him in Abuja. Political correspondent Abdullahi Garba Kudu reports.
The team led by Professor Jerry Gana has been mandated by the PDP Caretaker Committee to submit copies of the strategy report and consult with party leaders for effective implementation.
Very effective strategies of ensuring that the party is not only revived, energized, but effectively, as it were, moving to mobilize.
Former President Jonathan commended the Makarfi Caretaker Committee for the good job in repositioning the party. He advised for implementation of the recommendations as they affect entrenching principles of internet democracy.
That if we cannot go direct primaries, then let us make sure that we have increased the number of statutory delegates, people who have held offices in the parties at different levels, even if it's the level of a councillor. Now we have delegates we elect. Maybe with this report will change, but one odd thing is that our councillors are not even delegates.
The delegation also visited former chieftains of the party, like Alhaji Bamanga Tukur and Chief Tony Aneni.
We must challenge the tendencies that really negatively impacting on our country. That means region, religion, and tribe.
We have missed many opportunities to reorganize PDP because of selfish interests. For some party leaders, PDP is where it is today.
Boss Bamanga Tukur and Tony Aneni had announced their retirement from active politics. In Abuja, Abdullahi Garba Kudu, NTA News.
And you can watch this broadcast online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android device at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. And still to come, exploratory talks on military-industrial complex. The details when we return.
From what we have seen, we have the capacity which we can rapidly develop or feed on ourselves. If we don't import rice, we stop importing corn and other grains, Nigeria will have plenty of money to invest into developing industries, especially manufacturing, textiles and so on, and develop iron and steel, and complement the infrastructure development. So really, The opportunities are virtually limitless, and we are very, very aware of this, and we are prepared to exploit it to the fullest.
Madam, give me a bar. Correct. One more.
Enjoy times 4. This night the levels of NTA. I will for you. I will for me. I will try for everybody. Times 4. I will for you.
I will for me. I will for you. I will for everybody.
With MTN, I will for you. Every day na jolly oh. Anytime when you recharge from 100 naira, MTN go summer you 4 times your recharge. Where you fit take call, text or browse. Meaning say you go get 4 times the value. Chai! Just dial *888 star the recharge pin hash to enjoy this better woo. This offer now for only MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions they shall.
MTN. Everywhere.
Hello?
Welcome to the M6 Challenge. Using your new Gioni M6, carry out everything on that list. Starting now. Get to the door. Congratulations, you have passed the test.
Gioni M6 with a 5,000 milliampere battery that lets you go on for 2 days on a single charge.
Gioni M6, always in power.
Hello, dear. You've got the first signs of a sore throat.
Yes, and I'm afraid it could be signs of a sore throat.
Don't you worry. Just act immediately, but not with non-medicated throat sweets. Take an expert product. Take Strepsils. Look at what it does to sore throat germs compared to a throat sweet. Strepsils not only stops the germs from multiplying, it even kills them.
Thank you.
Bye-bye, sore throat. Stop a sore throat early. Take Strepsils.
What makes a Niger mom powerful?
I encourage my kids to learn new things. And if they get hurt, I rely on the power of my Dettol's 1 capsule. To fight germs, it's like my own first aid kit.
My family needs protection from germs. I use the power of Dettol's 1 capsule to disinfect surfaces and clothes to keep them clean and safe from germs.
I trust the power of Dettol's 1 capsule for bathing. The power of Dettol's 1 capsule protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Millions of powerful Niger moms use the power of Dettol's 1 capsule to protect their families. Be a powerful Niger mom with Dettol. Be 100% sure.
The Office of the Accountant General of the Federation will host a 2-day retreat on the Federal Government Treasury Single Account TSA policy with the theme 1 year of TSA benefits, challenges and way forward. Special guest of honor is Excellency Professor Yemi Osibajo, GCON, Vice President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, chaired by Honorable Minister of Finance, Mrs. Kemi Adeosun. Date Tuesday 14 to Wednesday 15 February 2017. Venue International Conference Center, Abuja. Time 8 a.m. prompt, strictly by invitation. Signed, Mr. Ahmed Idris, Accountant General of the Federation.
There is a reason Africa is called the new frontier. What was once potential is now an opportunity ready to be seized. Once revered for our resources, today's wealth is in our people. People who...
We are very grateful and appreciative for your wonderful gesture you have accorded to us.
With future assured, Nigerian women and children are assured of a bright future.
Future is assured when we join hands to promote the health of our women and children. Get involved.
Get involved and support the Future Assured initiative. Future Assured, promoting and protecting the lives of Nigerian women and children.
Thanks for staying with us on Network News. A counter-terrorism crisis response exercise coordinated by the Office of the National Security Advisor will be conducted on Tuesday, the 14th of February, within the vicinity of Silverbird Galleria from 5 a.m. to 11 a.m. A statement from the Ministry of Information and Culture indicates that the objective of the simulation exercise is to ascertain the preparedness of security organizations, ministries, departments, and agencies to respond to dynamic terrorist attacks within the FCT. The public is advised not to panic at the deployment of security personnel for the exercise. Traffic may be diverted during the exercise. The federal government and the private sector are to partner in establishing a military-industrial complex in Kaduna.
Work in Nigeria must have this research and innovation fund. Theoretically, we have gone through it many times. We have set up committees and so on, but there's not one penny in any account that is dedicated for research and innovation.
The summit is with the theme Research and Innovation, developing synergy with indigenous institutions. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
The team for renegotiation of the 2009 federal government agreement with university-based staff unions has been inaugurated by Minister of Education Adamu Adamu. He said the team is significant in ensuring lasting industrial harmony conducive for learning in all tertiary institutions. Labour correspondent Emmanuel Ayimi Rowe reports.
The 2009 university agreement has generated a lot of concern in the nation's tertiary institutions due to perceived non-implementation by government, which has led to disruption of industrial peace in the tertiary institutions at various times. With the new approach by government to renegotiate the agreement, the success or otherwise of the renegotiation team is bound to affect the future and stake of the university system.
Today's integration kickstarts our drive for renegotiation across the three segments of the tertiary education subsector, starting with that of the universities today. Subsequently, the teams for the renegotiation with the polytechnics and colleges of education will be constituted as soon governing councils are put in place.
Also want to
Abubakar Sani Bello, who solicited the support of NTA's DG in reviving NTA Kontagora, which was destroyed by fire some years ago, commended the NTA for adequate coverage, good programming and quality service. The governor said it is necessary for its administration to partner with NTA Mina in order to take the station to greater heights.
Nigerian are proud of NTA. I know you can do better. I'm not comparing with major international stations like CNN. Obviously, the level of investment there is more than what you do here, but the meager resources you have, to be honest, I must commend NTA. We're seeing very clear pictures.
This is the fourth state to be visited by the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ibn Mohammed. Dauda Mohammed, NTA News.
The Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, has recommended the use of alternative conflict resolution methods to resolve disputes to reduce the tendency of people resorting to violence. Sultan stated this in Osogbo during a special Muslim prayer for the nation. Olabode Arewa reports.
The prayer session attracted Muslim Ummah from across the southwest and prominent Muslim leaders. Reciting verses from the glorious Quran, they made supplications for the nation's security, for the economy, and for leaders at every level, particularly President Muhammadu Buhari, as he steers the ship of state. The Sultan of Sokoto, Alhaji Dr. Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, described disagreements and differences as a normal course in life.
That's why we need alternative dispute resolutions. When you are having problems in your houses, between you and your families, you don't bring government into it. What we need is the willpower to submit to the Holy Book, the Holy Quran, and the Hadith.
As Muslims, we must develop capacity and strategy to end extreme poverty.
Professor Isiaq Oloyede called for support for the Muhammadu Buhari administration in his fight against insurgency and corruption in Osogbo Olabode Arewa. NTA News.
Time now for us to go over to our Lagos Network Center for more reports on network news as we link up with Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer.
Hello, Cyril. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos.
The Nigerian Navy warship NNS Unity, which sailed to the Gambia to carry out the Economic Community of West African States mandate of restoring democracy in Gambia, has returned to Lagos after a successful mission. Lynn Leneke reports that the ship was received by the Chief of Naval Staff, Vice Admiral Ibok Ete Ibas.
Nigerian Navy ship NNS Unity returning from the Gambia, where she went on Operation Restore Democracy, following former President Yahya Jammeh's earlier refusal to relinquish power. The Chief of Naval Staff, who was represented by Chief of Logistics Naval Headquarters, Rear Admiral Tari Dick, explained that the ship's participation in the exercise is in line with ECOWAS mandates of ensuring that the Gulf of Guinea and the national security is achieved.
Our positioning in Dakar compels the situation in the Gambia to change.
NNS Unity was deployed on training and had to be diverted to the Gambia due to the development in that country.
The ship was mandated to take part in an operation codenamed Operation Restore Democracy in the Gambia. However, no single shot was fired in the course of the operation.
The ship, which was one of the 4 scheduled to intervene in the peace exercise in the Gambia, was under the command of Captain Abolade Ogunleye.
Our main mission as at then was to sustain the peace which was already on ground.
NNS Unity is one of the newest warship, a frigate and the second offshore patrol vessel OPV acquired from China. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
Following the spate of kidnapping and other social vices across the country, members of the Methodist Church Nigeria has held a special prayer meeting in Lagos. The aim is to seek for divine intervention as well as pray for the well-being of the present administration and Nigeria as a whole. Abolore Ogbara has the details.
Nigeria has lately been bedeviled by insecurity challenges such as activities of Boko Haram insurgents, especially in the northeast, though relative success has been recorded in the fight against terrorism in Nigeria. Clergies and members of Methodist Church Nigeria have frowned at increasing cases of kidnapping, armed robbery, corruption, as well as negative attitude of some Nigerians in the fight against corruption by President Muhammadu Buhari's administration.
We believe that it is only God that can restore this nation, and we have come to pray for our nation, Nigeria, that the God of divine restoration will restore the glory of our nation, Nigeria.
As individuals, as a nation, as a people, God is there to set us free from all those sieges.
Their worshippers are optimistic that with divine intervention, Nigeria will get back on her feet again.
Whatever your challenges are, and you seek the face of the Lord will grant you your request. There will be a change in our nation, Nigeria, and even in our lives, in our denominations, and even in the world.
The one-day revival is the church's way of continually evangelize and win more souls for the Lord. In Lagos, Abolore Ogbara, NTA News.
If you're just joining us, you're watching the NTA Network News, reaching you live from our Lagos Network Center. We have more reports ahead on the news from Abuja when we return after this timeout. Stay tuned.
Best deal in town. Glows given away.
Is offering the general public an opportunity to invest and contribute to national development through the Federal Government of Nigeria's Savings Bond. Investment in the FGN Savings Bond will lead to poverty reduction and create employment opportunities. FGN Savings Bond have attractive features: guaranteed fixed income, quarterly interest payment, use of investment as collateral for loans, can be sold at the secondary market, good for savings towards school fees, marriage and house projects. Please visit www.dmo.gov.ng, your stockbroker or financial advisor. FGN Savings Bond for national development. This message is from the Debt Management Office.
Nigerians. Suicide bombers are not spirits. They are not ghosts. They are human beings like you and me. They live amongst us. They are your neighbors. They are your friends today, but terrorists tomorrow. So you must know your neighbor now. Security begins with you and me. Know your neighbor. Be vigilant. Be security conscious. Report suspicious persons, objects, and movements to the police and other security agencies. The security of our nation is a duty for you and me.
If you see something, say something. Nigeria unite against terrorism. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture.
We're back in Abuja with the rest of the news. Government and the textile industry to receive a boost as efforts are intensified towards diversifying the economy and battling recession. The details with Leah Katumba Batunde.
Hello and welcome to Business News at 9. The federal government says it has set aside 51 billion naira in this year's budget to promote the development of the garment and textile industry in the country. The allocation is part of measures aimed at boosting the sector to create jobs, support diversification, and increase the patronage of Made in Nigeria wares. Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment, Abuja, says the federal government was mindful of the importance of that sector and had decided to dedicate 3 out of the 6 special economic zones to be created this year to it.
We need to identify what exactly is made in Nigeria. So we're talking about local content, we're talking about value addition, and it's going to be a gradual process, but it's all about our mind.
The Nigerian cotton, textile and garment industry in the 1970s up to the 90s was reputed to be an employer of about 1.5 million persons through the value chain, as raw materials was mostly sourced locally and an exporter of an estimated 30% of its production, with 124 companies in existence. Data from the National Bureau of Statistics (NBS) show that Nigeria spent about 24 billion naira on importation of textile between July and September 2015. Nigeria's internet subscriptions stood at 91.9 million in December 2016, representing a year-on-year contraction of 5.3%. The latest data released by the NCC, the industry regulator, showed density of 50% in a population estimated at 185 million, placing Nigeria well above the African average of around 16% as estimated by McKinsey. Now, finally, the Nigerian Stock Exchange resumed the week on a bearish note, with the all-share index dipping by 0.38%. Next is a graphic summary. And that wraps Business News for this hour. Thank you for watching.
Nigerians and other stakeholders across the world need to intensify efforts towards cushioning the impending devastating effect of climate change to save the planet Earth from danger of global warming. This was the focus of a climate change workshop in Abuja.
The event, with the theme Accelerating Climate Resilience and Low Carbon Development in Nigeria, has commissioners of environment from various states, students of secondary schools, and representatives of public and private organizations as participants. Minister of State for Environment, Ibrahim Usman Jibri, says the workshop is to create a platform for stakeholders to increase knowledge, deliberate on climate change, and be equipped with tools to develop strategies for effective policy making, planning, budget, and investments towards sustainable development.
It is not something the government alone can do it. The world over, what the Paris Agreement did is to sensitize the world and get the businesses, private businesses, to get involved about issues of climate change.
Ogun State Governor Ibekule Amosun noted that his administration was aware of the enormity of the challenge of climate change. Hence, it was committed to protecting the environment through various environmental-friendly and protection policies and actions.
We are the industrial hub of Nigeria, so clearly it will affect us more than other places. And that is why we said before any company birth in Ogun State, the environmental impact analysis, AIA, must be carried out.
In Abeokuta, Lekon Agbonde, NTA News.
Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, has called on communities to help check activities of vandals towards ensuring stable power supply. He stated this at a meeting of stakeholders in the power sector. Kemi Oshin completes the report.
The Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who inspected facilities at the Olorunshogo Power Distribution Station, had not less than 4 hours closed-door interaction with stakeholders in the power sector from across the country. The motive was part of effort at ensuring stable power supply across the country. The minister enjoined electricity distribution companies to regularly share information with their consumers and community-based organizations on their challenges and effort to ensure stable electricity supply. This, he said, will enable communities take ownership of electricity projects and check activities of vandals, which has resulted in the loss of about 3,000 megawatts of electricity.
3,500, 3,800 we have been able to keep on the grid over the last few months. We will be assisted greatly if we can have the gas pipelines back, because consumers are more resistant to payment when they don't have electricity, and I will be too.
A communique issued at the end of the meeting confirmed effort at ensuring stable electricity supply to the people. The communique also highlighted efforts to expedite action towards completing projects for effective service delivery. In Ibadan, Kemi Oshin, NTA News.
Take another break now for more messages.
Building bridges for peace and social harmony to engender national development. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. It will be incisive, interactive, and engaging. Don't be told. Join us.
To the outer framers, the hat tippers, the turtleneckers, the fringe growers, you don't need to hide anymore. Try Dettol Even Tone. It cleans and helps to reduce the appearance of blemishes caused by oil, dirt, and germs, giving your skin a healthy feel for an even better you. Dettol, be 100% sure.
The production, distribution, and sale of counterfeit and fake drugs is a corrupt practice and a crime against humanity. This has informed several measures and strategies to combat fake drugs, including introduction of anti-counterfeiting cutting-edge technologies to detect fake drugs on the